Hey soul friends, welcome back to my channel Helki Rain, and thanks for joining me today for the 6th day of Gratitude Challenge 2021 created by Jen. The link to her channel is in the description below. So the card that I got today for day 6, which was my yesterday, is the Two of Wands, and this is what the card looks like for, again, the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. And it's not too different from the Rider-Waite, but you do see our little friend again here, the cat. See, it's like sprawled out there. And so I will get into the symbology on this particular card, but I would say this card left me with a lot more questions than answers, if not all questions. I was having just a very reflective time with this card yesterday. The first thing that came to mind for me when I got this card was that feeling of the grass is greener on the other side, and how there is a fine line between the grass is greener and progression via desire. If we was just to take that expression, the grass is greener on the other side, that saying in itself is sort of representing that you might think it's always going to be better what you want over there, what you don't have, that is better. But when you get there, you realise it's not much better. I'm not any better off than I was back then. This is where I got thinking about, well, if you've that versus progression via desire. So you desire what looks greener on the other side, but is it all lost when you think about that saying, the grass is greener? Should we just not progress? Should we just not move? Because there's so much that you can learn through progression, through change, and those changes and that progression most of the time comes in through our desires. Like, we desire what's over there, what we don't have. We want to obtain that, then we make the progression to be able to obtain that. And yeah, often people who get in that position come back with, it doesn't change how you feel. And that is what it's coming down to. Are you trying to reach something different, your desires, because you want to change how you feel? Or are you trying to progress and reach your desires because just for the growth, for the expansion, for the learning, just for the sake of learning and experiencing more in life? Because if you was to decide, okay, well, I'm just going to stay here and work on what I've got and work with what I've got, that is perfectly fine in itself as well. There's plenty of growth, I believe, that can be done without following any types of desires or cutting desires off, and that not being really a part of your reality and more of sort of just dealing with what comes at you day to day. And there's so much growth and expansion in that in itself. So on either side, I'm seeing growth and expansion. So the main question I had was questioning one's desires. You have a desire and then you question it. You say, is this for fulfillment or is this for growth and learning? And when I say fulfillment, I mean I feel unhappy, I don't feel complete, I feel like that will make me happy, this will make me happy. Or are you just reaching out for your desires, your goals, because you already feel like fulfilled, you are who you are, you accept that, but you still desire different experiences to learn, to grow? I don't really have the answers, you know. I think it really comes down to a person-to-person basis. It's like what resonates with you. For me, as like the type of person I came into this earth as, I'm a life path 5. I thrive on change. I enjoy change. I understand that my desires aren't really going to fulfill any holes or gaps within me that I feel like need fulfilling. I know that can be done from wherever I am, but I want desires because I want to like have experienced that, know how that feels, have different experiences in my life that I can draw from and learn from. But this doesn't mean that I don't fall into that trap that I think most of us do fall into sometimes of, oh, I want this to happen and I need this to happen, and it can be anything like, oh, just if I was like earning so much money a year, like that's what I want so much, it would make me happier. Oh, just if I was married and could have a family and I wasn't alone, I know that would make me happier. Like, we all fall into these traps, and I wouldn't even say they're traps. I just think that's where it's obvious that there's still work to be done, and it's not about being happy 24/7. It's definitely not what it's about, but it's actually being okay with all those different states of being that we will find ourselves in this lifetime. And I think as we grow older, this is what we really start to learn, to sort of master our states of being, and we will be challenged the most in the areas that maybe we have our blind spots. I think that again can really sort of show up in this fine line that I expressed in the beginning of this video of the grass is greener and progression via our desires. So that was sort of the main thoughts that were going through my head yesterday, and more than getting any answers out of that, I just found myself questioning and questioning and questioning, and just really getting to sort of know myself and explore myself and explore my own beliefs. And then I feel like when you really sort of start to question these things, a calmness can come over you, and it definitely doesn't deter from any of your desires, but you're able to sort of know, okay, I want that because I know that from the growth that I've done from where I am, that is where I want my life to go. So it's not about not being okay where I am, it's that I wouldn't be growing anymore if I didn't take everything I've learned from this point of view, this perspective, this time in life. I wouldn't have learned what I've learned if I weren't to progress from here. And that's just my opinion, because I definitely think there's so much room here for the other perspective, which is sort of staying where you are and continuously going deeper and deeper and deeper into that place without having desires involved, really. But because, like I said, I'm a life path 5, I'm really pro change, it's really difficult for me to grasp that mentality. So it's more about me learning, like, what does the Two of Wands sort of point out for me? And that's what it did for me. It really made me question my desires and actually be able to back them up with reasons, you know, like back them up with like, yeah, of course I want that, because so far on my journey I've learnt this, this and this, and that would naturally propel me in that direction. If that makes sense, I hope so. Again, we see a cat like we did on the Ace of Wands, but the cat here seems to be in a sleep state, which for me symbolises that this is a time to pause and go within, possibly to internally experience all possible outcomes before taking any more steps. The cat feels safe and comfortable sprawled out here, which could represent a desire to progress that's not coming from pain and discomfort, which is what normally pushes us to change, but instead from curiosity. So the Two of Wands for me it is about sort of making those plans, those manifestations, those desires, what you want to set in motion for the future. It is basically about having your ideas about where you want to go in the future and sort of planning that out, but from a comfortable place. He's already done okay, he's already succeeded so much, but he still has dreams, he still has desires, he still has things he wants to conquer. But as the cat represents in this card, there's no rush, there's no, it's no, what's a, like Ten of Swords, it's forcing the change. Like, you have to change, you have no choice because everything's falling apart. The Tower, everything's destroyed, you have no choice but to move forward and change and grow and progress. So this is coming from a totally different place of like, I've got more than enough, I'm pretty good, and I could probably just happily stay here and not worry about what's beyond my nose. But it's like, no, I want, just for the joy of it, just for the expansion, just for the growth, just for the learning. Like, I want to know what else is out there. I want to experience this and that and whatever it will be for said person. And for me, it was sort of realizing, what do I really want, and what do I really want that comes from this calm, safe place like the Two of Wands. Because twos are that out breath, that time to rest, you know. It's not an odd number which is an in breath, like a 5 is a we gotta do something, you know, like that in breath energy is a lot more tense and active, but the out breath energy is a lot more zen and meditative. So it's like still pushing forward, still wanting to seek knowledge, seek adventure, seek change, seek whatever it is you desire that's going to progress you, going to grow you, but doing it from this sort of place is very unique. And that's why I think this is quite a unique card. Really got me questioning a lot of things yesterday when I pulled this card, because I don't often get this card, and then looking at it from this perspective with the gratitude tag had me looking at it quite differently, because I wouldn't say these are the ideas that I've always had about the Two of Wands. These are a lot of ideas that have come through the questioning that I was doing with this card yesterday, what it was prompting me to do. Last few things I just want to point out on the card is that you can obviously see that the man here, he looks like he's reaching out for the sun. And I wasn't really sure how to determine this at first. I think like at first I was like, is he reaching out because he feels like there's something out there that he needs, and that again comes from that more unhealthy place, which is this, I need something to fulfill me, like something is missing in me. And that's why I would think, you know, he's gazing out at the possibilities of what that is, or planning out what that is and reaching for that warmth of the sun. But again, with all the questioning I was doing yesterday, I really don't think the Two of Wands is coming from that place. It's definitely coming from that out breath, that calm, meditative place. I'm all good. But you know what? That would be quite fun. And like, what could I learn if I did that? And how could I grow? And I wonder if my whole like perspective could change. It's that energy. I don't know if that would resonate for everyone, but for me that definitely really works for this card, and I definitely will be taking that forward with me from now on with readings. I am really grateful because I was able to find out a lot more about this card just through questioning my own beliefs, my own self, and my own thoughts on these concepts. And another thing that really backs up that out breath that I'm talking about, that calm state coming from a calm place, it really was the calm waters. So there are waters here, and they're so calm that they're just perfectly reflecting the mountains and the sky. and calm waters represent our calm emotions. So again, it's coming from that calm, content place instead of that fearful, disruptive place that often change takes place from, you know. That was all the thoughts I sort of had on this card today, and I'm feeling really grateful because not only did I sort of really get to question a lot of my own desires and goals and manifestations, I was also able to really get a lot more out of the Two of Wands. It's always been one of those cards that I've never felt a lot coming through from, and never felt connected at all with the Two of Wands. And so I'm really grateful for the deep dive that I was able to take on this card today. So that's everything I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day, day 7, and I'll hopefully see you then. Have a great day. Bye.